What is going on, guys? It's Cameron and welcome back to the Civil War event that is taking over the Marvel Universe right now. This is issue 2. And of course, it's going to be playing off the events that happened in the previous issue and digging deeper into the reaction from Tony Stark about Rhodey dying and She-Hulk dying and how Captain Marvel's also going to deal with that. It's going to get pretty crazy and it's also really interesting. So guys, we need to jump into this issue, but before we do that, I do need to announce the winner of the giveaway. So guys, the winner of the giveaway for Civil War issue 1 is Drunken Warhorse. Congratulations, you have won the giveaway for Civil War issue 1. So I'll get in contact with you and sort everything out. But guys, again, before we get into this issue, I am also doing a physical comic giveaway for this issue as well. And now to enter, it's just the same as last time. Just be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video below, and you'll be entered into the giveaway, and I will announce the winner in issue 3. And now, without any further ado, guys, we need to get into this review. So let's get into it. Alright, so we're jumping over to New Attilan, the home of the Inhumans. Now, before I get into this review, I just wanted to let you guys know that I woke up last night and accidentally spilled a drink all over my recent comic pickup. So I've spilled a drink over my Civil War 2, the Amazing Spider-Man Civil War, Spider-Gwen, Spidey. I could have cried, but I'm sure you guys don't want to hear about that. So going back into the issue on screen, we've got Tony Stark sneaking into New Attilan, about to kidnap Ulysses. Now, the very first few pages of this comic are actually really interesting because it kind of feels like a covert mission. Like, Tony Stark is in stealth mode, his Iron Man armor is completely pitch black, and you will actually see his stealth mode armor for the very first time in the recent Invincible Iron Man issue 1 comic. I think it's issue 1, or it's like issue 3 or something like that, which I reviewed a few months ago, and it is definitely worth checking out. Now, going back into what's happening on screen, you've got to remember that all of these people are technically friends. Like, the Inhumans are friends with the Avengers, they're friends with the Ultimates and all that crazy stuff. And you can just see the hesitation coming from Medusa when she warns Tony a few times, and obviously doesn't cooperate, so then she takes action. And that's the best part about these comics, is that they are all friends, so they kind of don't want to fight, but they do it because they have to, and then that starts something, and it's almost like a giant argument between friends, but on a bigger scale. I especially loved it how Iron Man comes across as the superior superhero in this situation. Like, when that guy can scan for weaknesses in his opponents, and Tony Stark basically says, "I don't have any," and then just blasts them all away. It's awesome. And I thought it was really interesting how it turns out that Tony Stark was actually using a decoy whilst he was in his actual Iron Man armor. And I think it's interesting because we've actually seen that happen quite a few times in the Invincible Iron Man comics. And it's just nice to see that that is so Tony Stark. Like, that is something Tony Stark would definitely do. And it's nice to see that they're still pushing that part of the character into the comics, even though that he's probably already been doing it before and stuff. It's going back to old tricks, basically. It's really cool. I was also very fond of how the Ultimates actually got involved, you know, like Captain Marvel and S.H.I.E.L.D. and all of that. Because what you've got to remember is Tony Stark is technically part of the Ultimates, you know, with those groups of superheroes. So the Inhumans think that all of the superheroes have made this attack, when in reality it's just Tony Stark as an individual who has made this attack against the Inhumans. So I loved it how Captain Marvel and the rest of the Ultimates came down to say that they will help the Inhumans get Ulysses back, and to kind of prove that they can still work together, but you can slowly see that space between them getting bigger and bigger, and eventually that's going to turn into all-out civil war, and I can't wait for that. I mean, we're only in issue 2, and the comic is this good, the series is this good, and apparently something is going to happen in issue 5, and it's going to be crazy, and we're actually going to end up seeing Miles Morales fighting Captain America in issue 6, apparently, so I can't wait for that. Now, going into the situation that's unfolding on screen, I was almost putting myself in Ulysses' shoes, you know, being sat there, having Tony Stark kidnap you and all of that. And right off the bat, something that I noticed was that Ulysses is a major fan of Tony Stark. So to have your idol kidnap you, then restrain you into a chair, must be so heartbreaking for Ulysses, because he looks up to Tony Stark. Even in Civil War issue 0 or issue 1, I think it was, Ulysses even mentioned that he was a massive fan of Tony Stark, so for Tony Stark to do this is kind of really bad. And you could see that Tony Stark was even willing to torture Ulysses, like punch him in the face and everything to get these results. But luckily he didn't have to, but the fact that you could see that he was going to do it, that he was willing to do it, shows a lot about Tony Stark and how determined he is about this situation. Especially when Tony Stark was talking to Ulysses about Rhodey dying. The way he explained, he said Rhodey died on a mission that he should have never even known about. And the only reason he did know about it was because this kid saw the future. So it's kind of morally wrong that he died when he wasn't supposed to, because of an event that was never supposed to happen. And that's the driving point for Tony Stark in this event. And it's going to get crazy. Now, coming up to the final few pages of this comic, Ulysses has another vision whilst all of these guys are arguing, and he sees the Hulk killing everybody. And what I like is that we've got like little hints to who's going to die. Like, we've got Miles Morales on the far right of the screen, we've got Iron Man and Captain Marvel in both hands of the Hulk, and then we've got Thor and Captain America being crushed on the floor. And so this vision again is going to set up future events to happen how they were never supposed to happen with the Hulk. And a brilliant example of this is when we come up to the very final few pages, like the final page when Captain Marvel is actually seen visiting Bruce Banner, because obviously she wants to detain him before the Hulk rages and kills them all. Now, the problem with this is that what happens if the Hulk rages and kills them all because Captain Marvel tries to restrain him? So technically, if she just left him alone, then maybe that event wouldn't happen. And I think Captain Marvel trying to stop this is going to have more drastic consequences, again pushing Tony Stark even further into like pushing his opinion onto Captain Marvel, talking about how they shouldn't mess with the future, etc. And I can't wait to see how it turns out. But that is the end of the issue, guys. What did you think? Let me know in the comment section below, and let me know which side you are leaning more towards. I know most of you are leaning more towards Team Iron Man. Now, if it helps, I'm Team Iron Man, but regardless of which side you're on, which side do you think has the better opinion? Like, do you think Tony Stark has the better opinion in this comic exactly? Like stealing Ulysses, kidnapping him, running tests on him? Or do you think he should have just left him where he was? Let me know it in the comments below, and of course don't forget about the giveaway. The winner will be announced in the next issue, and of course congratulations again to the giveaway winner of the previous issue. And now, guys, I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10 again. Tony Stark's character in this comic is just so interesting to read about. You understand his motivations brilliantly, and it's so easy to put yourself into the situation of Ulysses. Imagine being the subject of everyone's attention, knowing the future, and everyone wanted to know the future that you're seeing and all this weird stuff that's going on. It's really interesting. It's almost like he's a kid and all of the superheroes are the parents trying to protect him. But anyway, guys, that is it for this review. That is it for this video. Follow me on Twitter for giveaways, and of course to hear about the Spider-Man PS4 game news, and of course which videos are going up next, or if I'm having any problems, etc. And of course you can follow me on my Facebook page. You remember that Dead No More tease? Yeah, that turns out that that's actually a Clone Saga coming up, so you can read about that on my Facebook page. And guys, the most obvious one, if you like this video, if you like this YouTube channel, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you all in my next video.
Sometimes you gotta stay